The BRICS is growing. This new bloc rivaling the Western global framework is about to get a lot bigger. But who's joining, and just how much bigger and influential is the BRICS going to become? Well, let's find out. But before we do, don't forget to like this video and drop a pineapple emoji in the comment section below for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, on with the video. The BRICS has had quite a transformative year and has been in newspaper headlines perhaps more this year than ever before. The original BRICS group of 5 countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, have formally received applications from 23 other nations. That's a lot. Now, it's worth pointing out that an application to join doesn't automatically mean you're in. Just ask Turkey with its EU application, or Sweden that had a lot of negotiations to get into NATO. It is true that 6 nations have been invited to join: Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia and the UAE. But in this video, we're not going to analyze every country, since this isn't a 30-minute video. But instead, we will look at the clout that these countries have and would add to the BRICS group. So, who are all these 23 countries? Well, they are Algeria, Argentina, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Egypt, Ethiopia, Honduras, Indonesia, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Morocco, Nigeria, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Thailand, the UAE, Venezuela, and Vietnam. More countries have shown interest, like Mexico and Turkey, but the above 23 nations have officially applied. Now, these countries are a big mix of nations spanning multiple continents, some of which, like Iran and Saudi Arabia, which will join the group at the beginning of 2024, aren't exactly the best of friends. But anyway, together these applicant nations are home to almost 1.5 billion people, just a little more than India, the world's most populous country. So, what economic clout do these applicant nations have? And how do they compare to the original BRICS members? Let's take a look. With its 1.5 billion strong population, the BRICS applicant nations are collectively home to an economy $7.6 trillion in size, according to the IMF in nominal terms. This is comparable to Japan's, Italy's and the Netherlands' combined GDP, which is quite a lot. Among the applicant nations, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia and Argentina are home to the 3 largest economies, making up around 40% of the total. But it's not the raw size of economic power that makes the applicant nations important. It is more the direction that they are heading in. Some key applicant nations are growing quickly, both demographically and economically, namely Indonesia, Nigeria and Ethiopia. These nations, if they are capable of managing their growth and distributing opportunities among their populations, have the capacity to become globally relevant in their own right. But, individual countries aside, these BRICS applicant countries would add a significant amount of clout to the existing BRICS nations. If all countries were to join, then the BRICS would look like this. It would be home to a group of 4.7 billion people, an economy $35 trillion in nominal terms, and $78 trillion in purchasing power parity terms. It would contain significant portions of many key natural resources: Algerian, Saudi Arabian, Iranian, Venezuelan, Russian and Nigerian oil and gas, and Argentinian and Bolivian lithium, and rare earth elements in China, Russia and Kazakhstan. But let's put some brakes on the hype for a moment. Would a group of 28 countries even work? Would these exact 28 countries, the original 5 BRICS members and the 23 applicant members, actually get along? Let's find out. Large groups exist. The EU is currently home to 27 members, the G20 is home to 20 members, and the G77, yes, that is a thing, is home to 134 member states. What is apparent from existing groups around the world is that the larger the group, the harder it is for the group to reach a consensus. This happens all the time. OPEC Plus, for example, the group of nations home to big oil players, often shows conflict of interest among its members. It is very normal. A BRICS of 28 members would be no different. What this means for the potential 28-member group, though, is that certain objectives of certain countries will never be seriously discussed on the meeting table. What ends up receiving the political will from enough members are the interests that all members share. If all countries have an issue with the US dollar being a problem for their own economies and trade arrangements, then they all have something in common. But perhaps the solution proposed or wanted by each country is different. Is a new BRICS currency a solution? How many will support it? Will this impact all countries equally? If it is not impacting all countries equally, will some members want to be compensated for a larger negative impact from those who experience a larger positive impact? These are valid questions, and when diplomacy does its thing, this could really slow down the BRICS' operations, and this is probably why the original BRICS members expanded the group by 6 members in the first phase, rather than 23 members. Members that, let's not forget, include Venezuela, which is home to an economy about 1/4 the size it was a decade ago. Belarus, which is home to one of Europe's few remaining dictators. And Nigeria, which, despite such a vast potential, seriously struggles to generate opportunities for its population, with an unemployment rate hanging around 30%, comparable to the Great Depression in the USA and Euro crisis in Greece. If the BRICS and its new potential members are to reshape the world, a lot of work still needs to be done. Its total economic output in purchasing power parity may have surpassed that of the combined G7 and EU, even if in nominal terms this is still not the case. Its population may be significantly larger, but the majority of high-value goods, technology, corruption-light societies exist outside of the BRICS applicant nations, instead in South Korea, Taiwan, Australia, and of course within the G7 and EU members. Change can come, and most likely will come, but how that change comes about may still take a different form. Now it's over to you. Do you think all the BRICS applicant countries will get along? Do you think the BRICS will be the organization that will reshape the world? And do you think the original BRICS members will want to open the door to so many members? Will they, much like the G7 nations, create a closer-knit group at its core with a much larger periphery group on the outside? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to not miss any of our future videos, and drop a pineapple emoji for the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, take care. Bye.